The Storm baseball team endured a 1-4 week last week, splitting a series with Nebraska Wesleyan before dropping 3 to the defending conference champions. We'll talk with head coach Nathan Rowling about what the team has to do to get things turned around this week, and also talk about the quality pitching he's gotten from his starters so far this year. We're joined now by head coach Nathan Rowling. Coach, last week 1-4, started out the week with a split at Nebraska Wesleyan, then went to Dubuque and dropped all 3 to the defending conference champions, although a little misleading. 2 of those games were decided just by 2 runs, so not a bad effort. I know moral victories aren't really your thing, but not a terrible performance. But why don't you just recap last week's games for us?
Yeah, overall the record that we didn't want necessarily, but we didn't play terrible throughout. And with this group, we always talk about the process and getting better little by little, and this group is getting there. We started off by taking a pretty tough one at Nebraska Wesleyan in Game 1. Weren't happy with the effort overall there. It was great to see the guys bounce back and really take it to them in Game 2 and come out with a nice win in Game 2. So we left the field that day feeling that we learned something about the group, faced a little adversity, got better, and felt good about going into the series against University of Dubuque. And when we got there, we got to tip our cap to them. We faced 3 of the top pitchers in the conference, that in Keeter, Schneiderman, and Nelson for them, and we battled, like you said, a couple close games that we just couldn't come up with hitting the hits, and that's really what it came down to. Our offense has been there for the majority of the year, and it just wasn't this weekend. We had some base hits, we had some base runners, whether hitting into double plays or just not coming up with the big ones that we needed to in pitchers' duels. That ultimately was what hurt us in the end. So we feel good about being able to bounce back because we were close. This team just needs to figure out how to win, and that's what we knew we were having to do, and what it takes to grind out at bats, grind out innings, and with a young group, that's a step that we look forward to taking here soon.
One of the guys that's kind of been a driving force behind your offense so far this year, Colton Arnold, has been swinging it really well. Had a great week last week, has an 8-game hitting streak currently. What's he seeing at the plate right now?
Yeah, and he's one to always work, and that's been the fun thing, is he's constantly trying to evolve, trying to make adjustments, and that's what we have to do as baseball players, and especially from offensive end, is constantly making adjustments as pitching does the same to you, and that's the biggest thing for him, and we feel really good with having him at the top of our lineup or the middle of our order, and he's been a consistent piece to what we're doing, and we need that. We need our older guys, and for us, the sophomore is old, and we need him to provide some consistency, and he's done that. So it's been really nice to see.
As nice as it is to score runs, we always talk about the importance of pitching at this level. You've got 3 really solid starters that have been doing a nice job for you this year, under a 3 ERA out of those 3. How big has it been, how important has it been for those 3, for you to be able to rely on those guys when you send them to the mound every night?
It gives us confidence, absolutely. That's something that we had been missing, and having those 3 and Brett Kalzerich, Tanner Jansen, and Brady Held in no particular order, those 3 have been give our team confidence that when they're on the mound that we're going to have a shot. And if we keep grinding and if we keep battling at the plate and play good defense behind them, which we have, that in each of those games we have confidence that we're going to have a pretty good shot. And over 9-inning ball games, you need solid starters to go 6, 7, 8 innings, and they provided that. So we're thankful to have them, and we're excited for them to be linchpins for us going forward.
The American Rivers Conference grind continues this week with 4 more big games, starting out with the rubber match against Nebraska Wesleyan here at home to finish off that 3-game set, and then a weekend series at Loras, a place near and dear to your heart, we know. So, and all 3 of those teams, yourself, Nebraska Wesleyan, and Loras, are right neck and neck in the standings right now, as we already, early in the season, we're already starting to kind of look at those league standings. What do you see out of your opponents this week, and what do you guys have to do to come away with some favorable results?
Us as coaches try not to look at the standings. We try to keep our head down here over the next couple weeks and then pick it up and see where we're at. But there's no doubt there's these opponents that we're looking forward to going in and competing and seeing how we shake up against them. We talk about winning series, and we have an opportunity to do that tomorrow against Nebraska Wesleyan, and that'll be big for us. And then going into Loras, and they played well overall this year, and they'll be a great test. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good week for us to see kind of where we're at and how we respond based off of this past weekend.
What's it like for you as the head coach at Simpson, going to a place like Loras where you played, went to school, and where you also coached? How is that? Do you approach that any differently from your standpoint, or now that you're in your third year, are you kind of able to step back and kind of take the emotions out of it a little bit?
Yeah, try not to, because to our guys it doesn't mean anything. So for my side of things, I try not to let it affect them. There might be a few friendly faces in the crowd, and after the pregame meeting with Coach T-Bon, after that it'll be pretty much business as normal.
All right. Go about your business this week. We'll talk next week.
All right, thanks, Brian.
Thanks.